The sharpest person I know runs her own accounting firm, built it herself, never sleeps and never misses a number. She has never once in her entire career looked at a client in the eye and said, "Just trust me, everything checks out." Because in accounting, trust without documentation is called fraud. You do not get to skip the verification, wave your hand at the result, and send an invoice. But now your contractor skipped inspection, told you it passed, and sent you the invoice anyway. Which means he operates with the same professional standards of a guy that once took an online quiz and put it in his resume. Meanwhile, she's over here running a firm and auditing everything, probably before your contractor ever found his keys in the morning. No inspection, no protection. Write that down after you find a better contractor. In Florida, every permitted job has required inspection. Framing, rough electrical, rough plumbing, insulation, and final. These are not suggestions, and they're not courtesy calls from the county. They are the law. They exist because homeowners deserve more than a contractor's word. They deserve a verified, documented, sign-off record that the work actually meets code. When a contractor skips inspection, they're handing you a report they wrote themselves. No outside review, no qualified inspector, and no record that anyone who knows what they're looking at actually saw the work. Just their word, which at this point is worth as much as a receipt they forgot to file. This is one of the most common ways homeowners get burned in this industry. Contractor pulls a permit, which it sounds responsible and honestly almost made you emotional. Does the work and never one calls for the inspection. Permit expires, nobody follows up, and the homeowner has absolutely no idea. And that's until they try to sell the house, refinance, or file an insurance claim. And now the county pull the records and say, inspected by who, actually? If something fails after uninspected work, a fire, a flood, a structural collapse, your insurance company is not taking your contractor's word for it. They pull the records, and when those records show that inspection never happened, they can deny your claim every single dollar. In Florida, skipping required inspection is not a scheduling problem. It is contractor fraud, and it is a felony. Ask for inspection records every phase of the job, not at the end, not when they hand you the final invoice, but throughout the entire project. You do not release final payment until you have proof in your hand that every required inspection passed. The check does not move until the documentation does. Sounds familiar? That's just called accounting. A contractor tells you an inspection passed when it never happened, just handing you a fake balance sheet and ask you to sign off on it. And if that happens to you, file a complaint with the DVPR, the Department of Business and Professional Regulations. Go to myfloridalicense.com and always verify their license before a single nail goes in. A licensed contractor knows the inspection process cold, and an unlicensed one is just hoping you never ask to see the books. And always remember, this is Construction Nightmare.